Alright, back again. Ready to escape another room. These virtual escape rooms. Already I'm seeing stuff going on here. There's a video camera pointed at a door with a panel on it.
A camcorder.
Looks like it's pointed at the door.
Well, the power's on.
Why would someone want to videotape a door? That's all I can click. I think this kind of camera records to a hard drive, but it doesn't look like this one's recording anything.
What do you mean?
It's just sending whatever it sees to something.
What does it see?
The door. The control panel for the electronic lock. I guess I've got to put in a passcode.
I don't think it's just about numbers. There's a hole in the bottom of it, right there. I think you need to put a key in it first.
I see. There's a plaque on the door, but it doesn't say anything. See if shaking us gets us anywhere. No dice. Right, chair with blood on it.
There's blood on the chair. Do you think it was the dead guys?
Yeah, probably.
It's a lamp, but it doesn't turn on. I don't think there's anything special about it.
There's a lamp with a shade on the table and something else, something metal.
It looks like a music box.
Sick. I love music boxes. Oh, it's one of those old music boxes. How about we wind it up? That's... Why does it sound like that? Is it broken? The pins in on the cylinder are all shaped all weird.
I don't think those are the pins. It looks like someone put something else on top of it. I think we're gonna have to take it apart and figure out what's going on, don't you?
Does that mean we'll have to find like a screwdriver or something? Music box, pins on the cylinder look odd. Dun, 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 dun. Wait. We'll have to take it apart to get a good look at it. For a second my mind was like, I know that there's a Morse code puzzle here somewhere. So maybe it's not actually a song, it's Morse code that it's playing. But I'm gonna look around more before I start spouting things.
A bed. There's nothing in it. Cool. Alright, okay.
They look like batteries. There's a cable running from them to the monitor.
A chair.
Thank you, Clover. What's the deal with this? Looks like some kind of code. There are 4 rows of numbers and letters. They all start with a 0 and end with 8, F, N, or V, respectively. Maybe this has something to do with number bases. Huh? New material has been added to the file screen. Tell me about number bases. This? Wait, this is from an old puzzle that we did. Oh, is it just doing the same thing that we did before? Base 10, hexadecimal stuff. Oh, okay, that's easier than I thought. Yeah, I already... Wait, what? Why does it go all the way? Okay. Is that trying to indicate... Hold on, let me look at that again. What did I have written down? 16 was 10. F is 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Why? Okay, let's not let's not get caught up on that stuff. There's a bunch of weird buttons on here. They probably switch what you see on the screens.
Do you know how to work this thing?
Why don't we just press one of these? Like this one. Okay. Not ominous. Well, I guess it does change the... What the hell is this?
Huh.
Heh. Junpei snorted with grim humor for the second time since he'd come into the room. The 4 screens along the bottom had a single letter, each spelling out...
Z-E-R-O, huh?
I wonder if that's going to be the code, and we have to match it up to this sheet thingy.
It's like he's making fun of us. What do you think?
He turned to Clover, who was standing next to him. Clover nodded.
Nothing.
It seemed that she cared about little. Of course, Junpei could hardly blame her. Given the strain she surely was under, Junpei was somewhat surprised she'd responded at all. Still, he had to ask. He gestured toward the corpse.
What about him? Do you think that's really Zero?
No. Clover shook her head weakly.
There's no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already? Zero is one of us.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this would indicate that Zero is technically one of us. He was participating in the game. I just don't think this Zero and the actual, like, Zero with the mask are the same person.
Well, even if he wasn't one of us, there's no way that man could be Zero.
Huh?
Don't you get it? The letters that spell Zero on the TV screen, the captain's clothes he's got on, and of course, the bracelet with a 0 on it. It's too obvious. Look, this is Zero right here. This dead body is Zero. Isn't that kind of fishy?
Yeah.
You're right. Only an idiot wouldn't see through something like that.
No, that's not the point. So I'm not trying to make fun of them for thinking a trick like this would work. I'm sure they didn't think it would work, which makes me wonder.
Why did they do it? Why wasn't that one line voice acted?
I think this is a challenge. A challenge from the person who's really behind all of this. He's making fun of us. Don't you get it? If whoever killed this guy really wanted us to think this corpse was Zero, they'd never have put a bracelet on him. Walking around with a Zero bracelet would be like hanging a sign around your neck that said, "I did it!" Anyone with a brain would be able to see that this guy is supposed to look like everything Zero is supposed to be. Just like we did.
I don't think I'd ever imagine Zero being like some old
The killer
guy
must
like
have
that.
known we wouldn't think he was Zero and put the bracelet on him anyway. Do you know why?
Why?
Like I said, he's mocking us. Too bad, suckers, this isn't Zero. Where's the real me then? See if you can catch me. It's the same bad joke a lot of criminals like to play. They'll just sit back and watch people run in circles.
That's really twisted. But it almost seems kind of childish.
Yeah, you're right. It's really childish. It's like it's just a game to whoever this person is. That's what seems funny to me.
Junpei bent down next to the corpse.
Alright, let's get back to the point. Who killed this man?
I don't know.
Assumedly, the real Zero.
And what's this guy's deal? Who is he?
How would I know that?
He's
If
just
I knew
another
anything,
participant
I
in
would
the
have
game.
told you.
You have no idea who he is.
Why would I?
Junpei sat back on his haunches and thought.
We should check and see if he's got anything on him that might tell us who he is. Give me a hand here, Clover.
Where's Ace? Is he in the other room?
We gotta flip him over. How else are we gonna search his pockets?
Clover didn't move.
Okay, fine. Guess I'll do it.
Junpei had no choice but to move the body on his own.
Here we go.
He grabbed hold of an area not completely covered in blood and shoved. It took a moment, but eventually Junpei felt the man's bulk begin to shift. But just as it did,
Huh?
something fell from the man's left wrist.
Hey, it's the...
The bracelet was 0 on the face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so.
Yeah, if your pulse reaches 0, it'll just fall off.
1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confine of the ship, or detects that Ignora's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Oh god.
Junpei stared at the bracelet. Why are you shocked? Wouldn't this have been established from the other 2 people dying? I guess the wrist, like, the bracelet probably blew up, too, but...
This man... He's dead, isn't he?
Yes. Didn't you already check his pulse?
Huh?
No, it's just... I guess I didn't really think about it until right now.
But you were okay.
If his bracelet's off, that means he's dead.
Well, it's pretty obvious that he's dead. You don't really need to look at his bracelet to figure out that he's dead.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It is pretty obvious. Well, he looks a lot better than the other bodies we've seen, though. You know?
Don't make that joke right now. Junpei.
I mean, if there wasn't all this blood, he'd almost look like he was still alive.
Why would you make that joke in front of the girl who literally just lost her brother to that reason?
I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but he kind of has it better, you know?
Why are you... Shut up, Junpei!
Dying from a bomb going off inside of you?
Junpei!
It's just-
Junpei!
Some of Snake's bones went right through his
Oh my
skin.
god! Junpei, shut up!
I think the explosion must have thrown him against a wall or something.
Oh my god, this guy. What are you doing? Sometimes he seems so thoughtful and stuff, and then he's just talking like this.
There was a broken bone just sticking out of his left arm.
Stop talking! Stop talking! Stop
And,
talking! Stop talking! Oh my god! Thank you! Oh, my boy! What are you doing? Suddenly, Junpei realized what he was saying. How could he have been so cruel? He clapped his hand over his mouth. Yeah, you dummy idiot. But it was already too late. He turned to look at Clover. She was glaring at him furiously. Yeah, I would too. What the heck?
What did you just say?
Her words sounded cold. He knew an apology could hardly atone for what he'd done, but he tried anyway.
I am so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean...
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What did you say about his arm?
Oh, what about his arm? I was so mad at Junpei that I wasn't listening.
Arm?
Yes, his left arm. You said it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but... I mean, didn't you see it too?
Of course not. I could barely look at him. There's no way I was gonna see the details.
Clover took a quick, deep breath.
Are you sure it was his left arm?
What about his left arm?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Wait, I wasn't paying attention. What about his left arm?
And he had a broken bone, right?
What the hell are you getting at here?
Just shut up and answer me!
She shoved her face closer to his. He could see fire in her eyes. Is this trying to get at that, something about his body doesn't match up to, like, him? Like, that's not him? Junpei winced and swallowed.
Yeah, he did. It was pretty bad, too. The bone was sticking out of the arm.
Oh, did he have something up with his arm? No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Clover's expression changed.
Clover? What's wrong? Look, I'm sorry if I said anything.
Suddenly, she was crying. Junpei wasn't sure what to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's something that she just heard means that that's not him. I'm assuming. It was close to the last thing he had expected to hear.
Huh? What are you...
Junpei had no idea what had just happened. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of thanks, and he couldn't understand why she would have chosen that moment to begin crying. So he simply stood there confused.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She thanked him again, and then something even stranger happened. Is she gonna hug him? Clover threw herself into Junpei's surprised arms.
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy!
Why?
The body in the shower room, it isn't his! It isn't my brother!
Okay, yeah.
Huh?
It's not Snake!
Thank you for being so insensitive and describing the body for me.
Why on earth would you think that?
Because his left arm is...
Does he have a false left arm?
I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be talking about this.
Junpei decided it would be prudent not to press her for any more information. If she did not wish to tell him, she certainly had a reason for doing so. Perhaps more importantly, however, if Clover was so certain that then she was likely right. That meant that the body in the shower room wasn't Snake. Then where the heck is Snake? It wasn't much, but that knowledge lifted some of the weight from Junpei's heart.
But he's still alive.
Then what the heck happened there?
I'm so happy.
Was he removed to cause suspicion among people or something? Tears shone in her eyes. Those tears melted Junpei's heart. As she cried, she had pushed herself up against his chest like a child. Junpei put his arms around her and held her tight.
I'm so glad.
Huh?
Junpei, you were right.
Huh?
No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love.
I feel like I somehow managed to choose the perfect options for Clover in this story. Like, I'm just thinking back. Like, I had to choose that first door to get the Clover thing. And then I had to choose to go with Clover the next time in order to give her that Clover thing and have a conversation with her. And then I also had to choose her again for this.
If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That's...
It was a laminated bookmark with a 4-leaf clover.
I only made it here because you gave me this. I was suspicious of everybody, and I was angry and miserable.
At least we have one person that trusts us.
But because I had this 4-leaf clover, because of what you said to me,
Yeah.
Junpei hadn't thought his words would have had such an effect on her. Her words were making him feel a little awkward.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She looked up at him. He scratched his nose and pretended to notice something interesting somewhere else in the room.
Oh, if you really want to thank somebody, you should be thanking Santa.
Santa? Why?
Thanks, Santa Claus, for giving us the miracle of Christmas.
Well, he was the one who gave me that thing. And the words for each leaf, I got that from him too.
Oh.
Then suddenly, Clover broke away from Junpei.
Huh?
He looked confused. He hadn't thought she'd react that poorly. Clover began to pace across the room. Huh? You thinking? You trying to put 6 steps to the left, 6 steps to the right. You thinking about why Santa would do something like that or something? Another 6 steps to the left, and then she stopped.
Did Santa really tell you those things?
Oh, there was also... whenever we mentioned the Clover thing to her, didn't she say, oh, you must know about blah 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 then? So is she connecting that Santa is the one who actually knows about something that she knows about or whatever? Her eyes were serious but not angry.
Yeah, he did. Did I say something wrong?
Oh no, not at all. In fact, this could be really good news, I think.
You think?
Santa knew about the words and the clover. The only people who should know about that are the other subjects.
Subjects?
The other people who were in the experiment 9 years ago, with my brother and me.
You guys were in an experiment together? Okay. Look, yes. Let's hear this. This is actually like something that I'm interested in hearing about. No more stories about mummies or whatever.
But he's blind. And I was part of the Nevada test group. So neither of us would be able to recognize the faces of the people who were on this boat.
The Nevada test? What?
Whoa. Okay, time out.
Junpei held up his hands. He took a deep breath and let it out.
Let's just calm down for a second, okay? Start from the top. Don't start with the end and then jump to the middle. You gotta start with 1 and then move to 2 and 3
Yeah,
and 4 and so on.
We get it.
If you don't tell me stuff in the right order, I'm
You
never gonna be able to figure it out.
I like how Junpei just repeats the same exact thing, but in 3 different ways.
Okay.
Okay. Clover nodded.
All right, let's start with this experiment. What happened on this boat 9 years ago?
Do you know about morphogenetic fields?
Also, why was this not brought up at the beginning? Were people so suspicious of each other that they didn't want to say, oh, I've been here before?
Morphogenetic fields.
He did, and the realization sent chills down Junpei's spine.
All right, how about this?
Does that mean she was also involved? I'm thinking that means a lot of people were involved in the same thing, because, like, why would they all know about this stuff? I even kind of made the connection earlier on without knowing this stuff, being like, why does everybody know this very specific random information that kind of connects together?
Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
I think Lotus mentioned something like that.
Junpei recounted what Lotus had told him earlier. Clover nodded.
Telepathy, huh? Well, that's not really it, but I suppose it's similar.
So they were testing telepathy on this ship?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what exactly did they have you guys do?
You guess so?
The same thing that we're doing now. Exactly the same thing.
What?
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 The nonary game.
What?
9 people were put on this boat, and 9 others were put in the building in Nevada, and the game started.
What? And you're what? Hello? You're just bringing this up now? This seems like pretty relevant information to have not said anything about. Junpei grabbed the sides of his head.
Look, I'm sorry, but I don't get it.
Why are you not, like, annoyed by this? Hey, yeah, you know, we're, like, more than, I think, halfway through the game, and, I'll just mention now that I've done this before. In fact, multiple people here have done that before. We've all done this before. It's fine.
What do the nonary game and some telepathy experiment have to do with each other?
You're the only new guy, Junpei.
Am I missing something here?
Clover bit her lip. She blinked back sudden tears. What had happened to her in Nevada? I'm so confused.
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. You know how sometimes when you're up against a really tough problem, and then the answer just kind of pops in your head? That's an epiphany. And what you learn from the epiphany can be transmitted with telepathy. When you add danger to that equation, then it gets easier to transmit that information over telepathy.
So you're saying the nonary game was supposed to introduce that element of danger?
Yeah, but it couldn't be just any old danger. It had to be life and death. And someone did actually die. A girl.
Huh.
I just don't understand why this would be happening again and nobody mentioned it. And why is Junpei just, like, accepting this information without being like, what the heck? Why didn't you say anything before? Why didn't any of you say anything before? Junpei felt the sudden grip of despair on his heart. Something deep and distant and powerful squeezed, and for a moment he felt very, very empty and alone. I mean, we've had 3 people die. Technically, we don't know who the second person was, but...
She was on the boat with my brother. I was in Nevada. I never met her, but I did hear her name. Her name was...
The sound of the door opening was like a gunshot. Junpei spun around.
Oh, my apologies. I seem to have disturbed you.
Yeah, you seem to do that a lot.
Ace.
Maybe knock. Maybe start knocking.
You two must have strong stomachs. I can't imagine how you could stay in this room for so long.
Ace glanced down at the floor. At the corpse covered in blood.
At any rate, Junpei, would you be so kind as to come and help me with something? I'm having a little trouble and I could really use your assistance. Come on, it'll only take a moment.
With that, he turned and walked back towards the communications office. Clover waited until he was out of sight, then spoke in a small voice.
I don't want Ace to hear us. We can talk about this later.
Why don't you want people to hear you? If you've done this before if you've done this before, then, like, does that mean you know something that somebody is suspicious, or, like, what is going on?
Hey, wait!
Clover ignored him. From outside, Junpei could hear Ace calling.
Junpei, what are you doing in there? Hurry up!
Grumbling to himself, Junpei stomped off toward the communications office. What do you want? Wait, what do you want? Does that mean I got everything from the other room? Look, a hook. That wasn't a joke. I know, man. There's a pair of headphones on the desk. Looks as though that drawer is the only thing that's locked. Don't see a keyhole, though. An electronic lock, perhaps? Or an electric? Take a look at the left side of the drawer. Yeah, there's some cables over there. That must mean... This is a really long cable. The tip is hooked onto one of the desk drawers. Okay. Papier. Hey, what's this? It's blank. There's nothing written on it. Is there a secret code in there somewhere? An early telecommunications device. Most likely used to transmit a radio signal of some sort. I experimented with it earlier, but to no avail. I imagine it's broken. I also like how Ace was like, hey, come help me, I need your help, and then I come in here and he's just like, look around. Like, I guess people use this to communicate back in the day. Whatever it is, it doesn't work. Nothing in the drawer anymore. Locked. Chair. Thank you, Ace, for that good commentary. A light. Looks like a pretty flower. Okay. Hey, Ace, look. It's a monkey with glasses. What? How on earth did you arrive at that conclusion? Beep, 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 beep. It's a telegraph key. A machine for transmitting Morse code. I tried sending an SOS earlier, but I doubt that did anything. Zero would never make it that easy. So you think it's broken? No, it works. I'm just not sure if it actually transmits anything outside of the ship. Telegraph key. Ace says you can use it to send a message in Morse code. I wanna do beepity beep beeps. Let me beep. Oh god, that's it. Oh god. No! Ace, look! There's a big ass rat trap over here! I told you, that's a telegraph key. It is a device that transmits messages through Morse code. Oh my god, I keep clicking that thinking that there's something different. A pair of headphones. I can't hear anything. Guess whatever they were connected to doesn't work anymore. Hey Ace, look! It's a model of a steam train! How on earth did you arrive at that conclusion? Wait. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to look at those. How did I get up here last time? Guess I can't. Click that. Oops, that's the menu. Clock. A clock mounted on the wall. The hands aren't moving. A little surprised that time is wrong then, I suppose. And there's nothing on the back. Doke. Ooh. Nice. We can probably use that on the music box. A set of small screwdrivers. Perhaps we can use them to dismantle small devices.
I wonder which small devices.
Ink. For writing? Oh, maybe we need to pour ink on that. And it'll, like, repel the ink and do a message or something. A bottle of ink. It's filled with ink. Thank you. There's nothing in the drawer anymore. Oops. Nothing on the table. There's an old telegraph machine. I'll be honest, I have no idea how it works. It's an old telegraph machine. Nothing suspicious here. Okay. Did I get to look at everything here? I don't feel like I did. Hey, isn't this the door? Hey, isn't the door on that screen the one right behind us?
You're right.
So whatever that camera sees is sent to this screen in real time.
I wonder if that means something, you know?
There's nothing on the monitor. It looks like there's words. just static. Okay. Nothing on the monitor, just static. See? It's one of those switches on the screen. Let's see what happens if I flip switches. Nothing. Looks like it doesn't work anymore. Did I already click all the drawer? Nothing inside. Nothing in that drawer either. I think this probably used to be a door. Nobody's going through it as long as this metal plate's here, though.
Well, even without the metal plate, the desk's in the way.
Alright, click that. Okay, let's do item stuff. Alright, the screwdriver ought to make short work of this music box. Cylinder.
This is a cylinder for a music box, right? Well, doesn't a music box have a little metal cone thingy that runs over the pins on the cylinder? And then that makes a song? Looks like there's something besides the pins on this cylinder, though.
Yeah, there's these things that look kind of like little metal fans, I guess? Guess I'll put the ink on the cylinder. Huh? You put the ink on the cylinder from the music box? Yeah. Why would you do that? I've got a theory. Now I just gotta roll the cylinder across a piece of paper. And if I'm right, the ink should show. Haha, ha ha ha! Okay, Morse code chart.
What is this?
It's just a bunch of lines and dots. Yeah, that's what Morse code is. I put ink on the cylinder from the music box, then I rolled it across the paper, and it left this.
Is it some kind of code?
I think it's probably Morse code.
Oh, Morse code.
Alright, I've got the Morse code I'm supposed to enter. If I do this right, something will happen. I hope. Alright, let's give this a shot. Huh? I just really like the beeps. I really wanted to do that. That's the last one, and yes. Excellent work, Junpei. Good job. You seem to have figured it out. You've unlocked the drawer. Nice. Sick. Sick. Sweet. Give me that. A red file lay in the drawer. Junpei reached down and picked it up.
Oh, it looks like there's something on the cover. ALLICE.
Alice?
All ice.
Oh.
Alice.
Oh, yeah, that, what the heckin' yeah.
Does this mean?
That's the name of the mummy, right? Junpei couldn't hold back. He had to know what was in that file. Ooh, hieroglyphs. Each page was covered in strange characters. They looked like tiny drawings of birds, snakes, insects, horned animals, winged, and even kneeling humans. There were many pages in the file, and each was full of these strange
What the
symbols.
hell is this?
It's hieroglyphs. He didn't realize he'd spoken out loud until Ace looked over at him.
They are hieroglyphs, a form of writing used in ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt?
That's right.
Can you read them?
Of course.
Is that sarcasm?
I can't.
Yeah.
What would make you think I could?
What the hell?
Junpei flipped through a few more pages. It wasn't just one or two pages that were covered in the strange symbols. Every single page was covered in them.
Whoa, the whole thing's like that.
Trying to read them was pointless. Junpei wasn't going to waste any more time with them. He made to close the file, and something fell out.
What's this?
He bent down and picked it up. Ooh.
A key card.
A key card, a card key. Bottom deck library. There was a symbol on it that reminded Junpei of the symbols for the Saturn and Mercury keys. I'm not even going to try and guess what that is. I don't know these symbols. This one, however, had a dot in the center of a male symbol.
Uranus. That's the Uranus symbol.
It's Uranus, not Uranus. Thanks, Ace. Junpei looked over to see Ace examining the card. In addition to the Uranus symbol, there were 3 words engraved on the card as well.
Something's written on the bottom.
Yeah, bottom deck library.
Bottom deck library. This must be the key to the library then.
So it would seem.
Ooh, wasn't there... I don't even remember when this was, but wasn't there a clue that said, like, the exit will be through the forest of knowledge or whatever? So I'm assuming whichever door this one goes to, this will, like, get us to the end. The 9 door,
Bottom
probably.
Deck library. Oh.
Junpei remembered something he'd heard from Seven when they'd been in the deck in the chemical closet. Okay, he's probably thinking the same thing as me.
Seven said something like...
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the forest of knowledge beneath the navel of the gigantic.
Okay, no, it was that she was there. I was thinking it was, like, I forgot about this whole story. I thought it was something to do with the, like, exit. But no, it's the mummy.
Navel mean the bottom deck, and the forest of knowledge is the library? Then could Alice be in a room somewhere beyond the library?
What's wrong? Something on your mind?
Junpei blinked. Only then did he notice Ace looking at him, curiosity and concern written across his face in equal parts.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Is that so? What about?
Well, don't laugh, okay?
There was no reason for Junpei to hide his thoughts. He began to explain his theory to Ace. Then he stopped. It wouldn't make any sense if Ace didn't know who Alice was supposed to be. So he told Ace everything June had told him.
The Egyptian priestess, an Ice 9. Interesting.
And the woman who wouldn't melt, who was recovered from the Titanic disaster? They called her All Ice, which eventually turned into Alice. And she was purchased by an English millionaire who called himself Lord Gordain. According to Seven, this ship is where he hid Alice.
Nice little recap
And you
there.
think that he hid her in a small room, beyond the library on the bottom deck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a theory.
Ace stared off into the distance, his hand slowly and absent-mindedly stroking his beard. After a few moments, his hand stopped. He turned slowly to look at Junpei, and his brows drew together.
Junpei, have you ever heard of the term CAS?
God, everybody just has this this information that connects.
It stands for Cells Alive System. It is an advanced technology for freezing and preserving organic matter. Put simply, it is a technique that allows one to freeze things without the formation of ice crystals. Normally, if you freeze something fresh, water within its cells expands as it crystallizes, damaging the cell membrane. CAS, however, works differently. The object to be frozen is supercooled using magnetic fields, and then frozen instantly and uniformly, giving ice crystals no time to form. It was originally developed for the preservation of food, as an alternative to the normal freezing process. Now, however, there are rumors that it can be used for other things.
Like people's?
What do you mean, other things?
Well, there are obvious medical uses, but perhaps also space travel.
Oh, like cold sleep kind of thing?
Space travel? Are you serious?
Surely you've heard of suspended animation, cryogenic freezing? It's a fairly common idea in science fiction books and films. People are sometimes frozen for especially lengthy journeys through space.
That was when Junpei understood what Ace was suggesting.
Whoa, wait a minute there.
Is he trying to suggest that the Alice mummy lady was actually from a different planet, or that she was going to go to another planet or something? I mean, there is the whole theory about like aliens building the pyramids or whatever. Ace looked at him and raised an
Are
eyebrow.
you saying that Alice was frozen using that cast thing?
Well, I'm sure the possibility is quite low, but it is a possibility. If this special ice you call Ice 9 does indeed exist, and casts were used to freeze her into that sort of ice instantaneously.
That would mean that this technology existed like a long
You think she
time
could be
ago.
alive?
Well, I can't say for sure, of course.
I assume that's what he's
I'm only talking
saying.
about possibilities. The melting point for Ice 9 is 96 degrees, right? If she were put somewhere where she could reach that temperature.
That's nuts. Are you really saying she could have defrosted and started walking about?
You're quite right. It does sound unbelievable.
I also want to know if this is 96 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. I'm assuming it's Fahrenheit. But I would also assume that she's been in a temperature around 96
If she
degrees
Then
already.
we would have an explanation for the man we found dead on the floor.
What?
You mean the guy dressed like a captain?
Wait, hold on. Did I miss? Is he trying to say that the mummy killed the guy?
Yes. He was dead when we found him. Clearly, he was murdered.
Are you saying that Alice is
But if
Zero?
he was murdered, then by whom? It couldn't have been one of us. That would be impossible. In order to enter the captain's quarters, one must first open door 1. That door that requires the Earth key prevented us from accessing door 1. Who was it that opened that door?
Santa and Lotus.
Right. Clearly, the two of them could not have opened door 1, or any other door for that matter. Who else then could have done so?
Junpei thought for a second.
Nobody. After Santa and Lotus used the Earth key, they turned back and met up with me and June. Then we returned to the large hospital room and found Ace, Seven, and Clover. While we'd gone into the shower room, Ace, Seven, and Clover had stayed behind. But it's impossible for those three to open door 1. But what about when June and I took the elevator to door 2? No, still won't work. We were only gone 5 minutes. No human being could have run to the captain's quarters, killed that guy in there, and run back that fast.
It would be impossible for any of us to be the murderer. That being the case, who could have killed him? Wouldn't it make sense if his killer was someone who had been in the ship for some time? A person like that would know the ship well. They would know the locations of all the hidden passages and secret doors. The numbered door would mean nothing to someone like that. It would be a simple thing for them to enter the captain's quarters.
Then you're saying the killer was Alice?
How would they get through the different doors, though, unless there's like an override thing? It was Junpei's turn to raise an eyebrow. Ace drew his thumb across his lips thoughtfully.
Well, this is all only one possible theory.
All ice. Alice. Is she really somewhere on the ship?
Junpei had only one clue. The keycard in his
Maybe this
hand.
card will give me access to the Forest of Knowledge. And the big mystery. What could be there beyond the Forest of Knowledge? Anyway, whatever. It's gonna have to wait. I can't do anything right now. I'll come back to this later.
He gripped the keycard tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket. New material has been added to the file screen. What is this? Unique key. Oh, that's for the panel, right? A key with a leather case. It isn't metal. My guess would be ceramic. Junpei, have you found a keyhole that it might fit? A file found in the communications office that says Alice on the spine. All of the pages are filled with hieroglyphs. Okay. I didn't get... Junpei, what are you doing? Oh, sorry. I thought that was the door back to the other room. In fact, don't you think it would be wise to investigate the captain's quarters? I think we ought to check both rooms, don't you? Yes, 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 I agree. I'm all spun around. I'm sorry. The control panel for the electronic lock. Looks like it's got a keyhole in the bottom right. Maybe the key I got earlier. Sweet, just had to put the key in and now it's on.
Junpei, look! There's a minus sign on the screen.
There are 8 of them. That probably means we've got to put in 8 digits.
Do you think you can figure it out?
Yes. 0, right? We just gotta do the thing. Wait, I just have the file, so I can just open it. This. Okay, let's write out 0 and write down what the numbers would be. 0. I don't know why I wrote it like that. Let me rewrite it. 0. Okay, Z. Oh, Z is one that I actually have to figure out. Let's do one of the ones that's already written there. E would be the closest. Wait, E is just 14, isn't it? E is 14. O would be next. Okay, so I almost just pointed at my screen. That's not helpful, so I'll use the mouse. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27. 28, 29, 30, 31. Shoot. A, B, C, D, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, hold on. I don't know my alphabet. Okay, so wait, what? It was 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. All right, let's try this. Our first guess. There are 8 dashes on the screen. I guess I need to put 8 numbers. So, 8 digits, huh? Once I put in the 8-digit number, I just need to press the E to enter it. And if I mess up, I can hit C. All right, let's give it a shot. 35, 14, 27, 24. Haha, ha 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 ha. Yes. It worked.
Good job, Junpei.
Thank you. I try. Excellent. You seem to have unlocked it. Good work, Junpei. All right, let's go. I was just gonna like wait for it to... I don't know why the camera had to be pointed. Is it just so that you connect the two? It seems weird that they would put like an easy thing there. You found it. They stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. Is this where we're going to meet up with others, maybe? The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backwards
All right,
L.
let's go.
Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the straightway. He ran, and ran, and ran. At the end of the hallway was a door.
That's the next door.
He made straight
Wait,
for it.
a piece of paper.
He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor. Junpei skidded to a halt.
This is...
He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off the floor.
Map of the ship's interior for A-Deck.
Okay. We getting there.
What's wrong?
Ace, slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age, had finally caught up to Junpei.
I found a map for this floor.
He showed Ace what he snatched from the wall. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was and nodded.
I see.
With that, he began running again, past Junpei.
Well, that was anticlimactic. I should keep this, though.
Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace, but something stopped him.
Where's Clover?
Oh my god, why do people keep going missing? He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be
Damn
seen.
it. What the hell is she up to?
Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. Don't tell Ace that you're going to go look for her or anything. I'm sure it's fine. As he stomped around the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob.
Clover!
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly. What were you doing, girl?
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound suspicious.
What do you mean, nothing?
Clover had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket as if trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What did you take?
What?
You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is a note.
A note?
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes.
And you're gonna hide it?
It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Hey, Junpei, Clover! What are you two doing? Hurry up!
He's getting mad.
Clover shrugged.
I'll show it to you later, all right? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Way to shrug me off. Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. I thought you trusted me. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. A note? A note. Junpei was curious. But there was something else that bothered
From
him.
the look of that pocket.
Yeah, there was more than a note in there. And also, both of her pockets looked to have things in them.
It doesn't particularly look like just a note. Jeez, what are you thinking? For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
Big stairs. So this is where it ends up. Just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His I see after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing.
Ace, did he head down?
He put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, I was...
Look, the 4 others are there too.
And not just Ace. Santa, June, Seven, and Lotus as well.
Really?
Let's join them.
Yep, go see your girlfriend, Junpei. Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy! Clover!
June's face was excited. Something had happened. That much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it!
Did you find the 9th door?
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
Oh, snap.
What?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way.
Okay.
But there's still a door we haven't gone through, right? Seven turned and jogged off down the stairs.
Well, if that's the case...
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably
We've
was.
reached the end.
He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door.
Yeah.
7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people. Is there a way?
Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Yeah, or you'll be the 2 left behind. Actually, I don't know if that math checks out, but...
Let's go, Jumpy!
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could.
Yeah.
Junpei followed. As a group, they piled onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to E-Deck. It looked familiar. There was a metal grate between the 2 elevators. Seven grabbed hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split off from you guys, the 4 of us got into the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. After that, we headed down another hallway. It took us toward the bow and eventually to the number 6 that you two found earlier. We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it, like usual, but this time we had to complete 2 different areas before we could unlock it. Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that went the other direction, toward the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
That's right.
So, in other words, you kinda did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
With that settled, Junpei looked around.
So, where's the number 9 door?
Over here. Follow me.
Seven began walking down the hallway that led toward the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with him.
By the way,
They had been walking for a while, June in silent step with Junpei when she spoke.
you know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Huh?
What?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
What?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus, what's their digital route?
Okay.
9. It's 9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they'd wanted to.
Oh, okay, I see.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them.
Oh my god, did the other 2 try and leave us all here?
He said we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
and then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
Oh, good guy Santa.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you, I mean.
Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's
I
concern.
don't mean that Seven and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind.
Okay.
We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first.
Is that so?
Junpei was about to respond when Seven suddenly
We're here.
stopped. In front of them stood a door.
So, is this...
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see Seven's face, but he could see him nod.
There's no other place for us to go.
Nope. Just look around. There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway. The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates.
I see.
It looked as though Seven was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
All right, let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. Is this like a church? It appeared they'd been telling the truth.
No way.
Wait, I don't see... Is that the red? Right there? I'm assuming that's the red, because I don't see one. The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number. 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it.
The nine door.
It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish.
We're finally here.
Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. The display read vacant.
No doubt about it. This is door 9. Oh, finally! This is the last.
Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back, and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of complete silence.
Junpei, look behind you.
What? He turned around.
What?
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw. So there are multiple options here. Is it a person? Is it gonna be... I don't think it'd be Zero. Is it gonna be... Would it be Snake? Is it gonna be...
Why?
Why? Is it gonna be Clover holding a gun?
A door and a 9.
Oh. Okay. I was expecting it to be a person. 2 9 door. Also, there's a coffin there. Do you see that?
Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
Only one will work. I don't know. I don't know. His words came slowly, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the corner of the room. So wait, did the others saw this already, right? They didn't say anything about that? There was no mistaking the number, and if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door.
There's a red there too. That means... And of course it won't open.
He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real.
Why?
So what, can a group of us go through one of the 9 doors and then the other group can go through the door we didn't go through? And then if that wasn't the real exit, then we do a swap?
Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
That was what I was initially thinking. But Lotus was skeptical.
I don't know about that. It seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle.
But does that mean that one of them could still be like the right one and the wrong one, but we have to make sure that we choose the right one, or we like mess everything up?
Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here.
I don't know about that. Have you
I
looked?
searched it very well when I was in
Okay.
here before.
Never mind.
I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then, that means...
But I mean, only having one pair of eyes go over a room doesn't always necessarily mean that everything has been seen, you know?
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
Does that mean it either is possible or was possible at one point when we had more people for us to like all escape?
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
I don't know if it's possible for us to all get out now, but...
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right,
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand.
You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them?
yeah, here.
Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her.
Look at this.
Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers. Yeah.
You get it? The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit.
We needed Snake, right? Snake would have fixed everything. Then we could have got out. Is that why Snake was removed?
There's only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So...
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind, right?
yeah.
Clover nodded, almost as if she was pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
No way.
So, some people go through and then the other people what, look around for Snake? Because if you add 2 to all these other ones, like these all equal 16, right? So, you add 2 to that, you get 18. And then we could go through the door. Also, couldn't we've... I don't know if it was ever established. I know that the bracelet, like... I know the bracelet pops off whenever you die because your pulse reaches 0. Does it deactivate too? Could we have been, like, taking the bracelets? Did Clover take the bracelet of the captain? The room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank.
Come to think of it,
Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him.
what is this room?
It's a little church. The walls were covered with candles, or like a funeral service room kind of thing. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind?
A funeral. There's a casket at the front. Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. Why does the carpet look like red denim? The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. Oh my gosh. Bless me. At the other end of the carpet...
Is that an altar?
Ooh, there's a card, not card key. There's a thing. There's a number pad. That's the word. It was a recessed space set into the wall between the 2 other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin. A coffin.
A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be.
But if it wasn't, whose body occupied it? I mean, there doesn't necessarily have to be a body in there. That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay, I give up. I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer. But I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
Are you gonna volunteer to stay
What are you
behind?
talking about?
Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one.
What? You guys didn't figure it out yet?
Yeah, some people have to stay behind.
Fine, fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something.
Oh?
She wasn't really wrong. She just... screw it. Let me just write it out.
Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right.
Oh, yeah. You volunteering to stay behind, dude? Really? I wouldn't expect that.
But there's another
from
way.
you.
Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
I'm surprised that Clover didn't actually notice that, because she doesn't seem to like Seven that much, or she hasn't.
Wait, this means...
seemed to in the past. Any interactions I've seen them have.
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I agree with you. not to sound like an insensitive person, but that is the best line of thinking for me, is to leave one person behind instead of leaving like 3 people behind. Also, there's a chance that
I'll stay behind.
come back, or one group loops back or something. All the different shocks.
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden?
Wait, why wasn't everybody was shocked except Santa?
Are you some kind of idiot?
Wait, why are you being like that? You don't like him. Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered. Yeah, and they haven't seemed to like each other in the past.
No, I am completely against this. I'll be
Why?
goddamned if I'm gonna have to owe you for getting out of here.
Oh my god, no. We're not gonna leave more people behind just because you don't want to be, like, indebted to somebody. The rest of them began to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
So you want to leave more people behind?
I don't like that idea. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well.
Oh my god.
I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Then what are we gonna do? Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven. Dude, Santa's not saying anything right now. What does he
Well,
think?
there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's gotta be a better way than this.
Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corner of Seven's eyes. That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable.
Are you agreeing? You want to leave him here?
It's the same decision that we made before.
Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
What idea do you
Then I
got?
don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
What? Dude, okay, listen. Listen. That's not how this works.
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver.
What the hell are you?
What? You don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more.
Huh?
3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people.
I'll be leaving behind? So wait, hold on. Are you saying... okay. Are you saying that you'll go through the 9 door, but 3 people have to stay behind? What? Dude, hello?
That's my proposal. No, those are my orders.
What do you mean your order? Are you gonna... I'm so confused.
What do you mean orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
What?
What?
3, 2, 1.
What? What? Santa was so fast, Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and... Dude, Didn't I make a joke? Did I or did I not make a joke about somebody having a gun? Was it Clover? I don't understand. I don't get what's going on. What's happening? Huh? He had June. Also, his gun cold. Okay.
See? I told you.
What? And also, I've been silent about this for the whole time, but what is up with Santa's... Does he have 2 headbands? What is that? His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile.
What?
A shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze, and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Yeah. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, a revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver roughly around her temple.
Why? What the hell is that?
Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke, almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion.
The gun's from the other room.
Wait, you guys found a gun and you just let him take it?
What room?
One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was gonna do this. I should have taken the gun.
Well, it's too late now, fat ass.
Damn it.
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted in Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lips twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded and he began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the small wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly, and then forced June to do the same.
Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace, Lotus, congratulations. I've chosen you to come with me.
What? Why not us?
Put your hands in the red.
Hold on a second. Let me do a quick calculate. Okay, no, I don't need to do any calculations. That was what Santa had meant when he said he needed two more.
You deaf? I gave you an order.
But Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed frozen like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right. Fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched. Excuse me? Okay. I was like, who did he shoot? A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
He really shot it? But why? Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends.
What?
You knew about the leaf words and the four-leaf clover.
Santa's cheek twitched, almost imperceptibly.
What the hell is that shit? I've got no idea.
You're lying.
Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch. You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head?
Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth, his face twisted with rage. Okay, who's being left? Let me just... If this happens. Isn't it... It's me, Clover, and 7? 12, 16, 7. Yeah, we can't go through any of the doors, right? Clover recoiled. Okay, the reason that I said that was because I was thinking, if we're left behind, then there was still another door left, right? That we didn't go through, and I can't remember what number it was. I was thinking maybe we'd be able to go through that door and maybe find more information, but I don't know.
Santa.
He snorted, then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
All right, assholes. What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan those bracelets. I don't have all day. Oh, what's the matter? Your hearing's starting to go? Going senile, maybe?
Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath, like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate.
That's it.
June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive, along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do.
It's the only way.
He turned to Ace and Lotus.
Please, go.
Huh?
No way.
You do.
Jumpy, what are you saying?
He's saying go.
If you stay here, you're going to be stuck, Jumpy.
Not unless we find Snake somewhere here. Which, okay, is that, let me double check that that's actually possible. If we found Snake, what would we equal to? We would be, okay, we're 5. 7 is 7, so that's 12. Plus Clover. Yeah, if we found Snake.
And so will Clover and 7.
I know.
Snake might still be
You
alive.
don't
We
need
could still
to
get
worry
out.
about us. We'll figure something out. Right, 7?
Right. You just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either.
Yeah, I don't think she would want to leave right away either, because if she just had the revelation that her brother might still be
There's
alive.
still something I have to take care of.
Yeah.
No, you can't! Ace, Lotus, don't come over! Don't worry about me, please!
Why? If you... This isn't solving anything. If you die, it doesn't solve anything. Like, this is okay. June was almost crying. Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He then gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders and pushed them towards the door. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step and another. They turned around and Junpei nodded.
all right.
Fine.
Ace and Lotus turned around again and slowly walked towards the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
All right, now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the holdup? What? You think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The red doesn't need a person, you know?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this this theory, I don't think it's correct, but I think Santa's probably just doing this because he's a dummy. But there is also the possibility that he's completely big-brained this whole thing, and he's seeing people being like, "Oh, we'll just leave 7 behind," and realizing that if that happened, that wouldn't work out. We all couldn't get out. If he has somehow realized that Snake might still be around, there's a chance he could be big braining the whole thing and pulling off this act so that we can all actually escape, because he knows that people would likely choose to like dawdle around or choose to leave 7 behind eventually. So that I just wanted to say that theory in case there's a chance that it's correct. I don't think it is, but anyway, we'll continue.
All I need is the bracelet.
That's true. See, all I need is the bracelet. Why couldn't we have gotten Snake's bracelet? Was it not there?
Get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not gonna say it again.
He shoved the revolver hard against June's head, and she winced.
Fine.
Ace sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand onto the scanner panel. The 4 asterisks blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. As soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid, and you know what happens, right?
Damn it.
Junpei could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind. The door slid open. Door number 9, open at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, a drum roll to welcome the chosen few.
Good. Go.
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well.
Later.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. Okay. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and Seven had been left behind. Clover looked down at her hand and traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. Seven shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the 2 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. It read engaged. He moved to the smaller door. The red read vacant. The digital root of the remaining people was 7. There was no possible way for them to open a door with 9 on it. Junpei touched the surface of the door.
June.
He thought about June, about Akane Kuralava. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she had escaped this horrible boat, that was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do?
Look around. Try to find stuff. 7 opened his mouth to respond when a noise echoed through the room. Is it going to be the coffin? Someone was pounding on something vigorously. It wasn't mechanical. It was certainly human. Junpei and 7 looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh, quiet.
Clover motioned to 7 to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. Three of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from. It could either be people on the other side that just like went through the door, knocking on the door, or the coffin.
Where is it coming from? Could it be?
Is Snake gonna be in there? Can you say something?
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
You're right.
Let's open it.
But how?
What are those muscles for? For show?
You're telling me to force it open?
There's a number
Just
pad.
shut up and try!
Junpei and 7 grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find and pulled with all their strength.
Damn it!
It won't even budge.
Numbers. There's some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to it.
Another one?
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password or it won't open?
I think so.
The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder.
Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out. And now.
I mean, if there is somebody in that coffin, they might not be able to breathe.
I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do.
I really hope it's Snake and we can open this. They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Clover ran to examine the pews, and Seven investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
There's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged in the room. I'm surprised they aren't, like, knocking back or anything, or, like, shouting to see who might be in there, to see if the person can shout back. I mean, I imagine they could be, like, gagged and not be able to say anything, but I'd still try to see if there's a chance we could figure out who is in there.
What am I supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something.
To be continued. All right. To be continued then. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna stop the video there because this is the perfect spot to stop the video. To be continued.